Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. I'm so happy you're joining me today for a numerology forecast reading for personal year number 4. So, if you watched the original video, which is the calculator, how to calculate your personal year, uh, and we're moving up to 2025, but this calculator video and this current video for number 4 numerology year, these are evergreen. These videos are meant to be timeless because in numerology, we always go in a 9-year cycle, and you're going to be in one of these personal years, and it changes every single New Year's Day according to what is your birth month, what is your birthday, and what is the current year. So we're moving into 2025, which is a number 9 year, and you can check out how to do that on my video, or you could go, hey Siri, hey Alexa, can you calculate my personal year in numerology for 2025? Or you could go to your friend Google, and all those have free calculations, okay? And or just watch my video with a complete description of how to do it. And that video in the series has a black and white photograph for the thumbnail, whereas all of these personal years have a color photograph, so you can find it easily. Well, if you're a personal year number 4, you have the same personal year as one of the favorite celebrities that people request on this site, who is Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio is moving into his number 4 year in 2025 in just a couple of days. So in numerology, this is a time with the number 4 to focus on building a strong foundation. Everything in the number 4 year is about the 4 corners, the foundation, working hard, being very disciplined. This is the year where you need diligence to tackle those projects, right? You need to go at it because you're creating stability. That's the whole purpose of a number 4 year. And it's about setting new priorities. We had a fun, creative year. Last year, you would have gone through a number 3 year if this year is number 4, and that was all fun and social, creative. You can watch that video to compare and contrast the difference to your number 4 year. Be sure to watch both videos and go and watch video number 5 so you can see what's coming up for the following year. So you can see how to plan your life and take advantage of this wave of opportunity. Because right now is all about setting your new priorities and working toward a long-term goal, really laying that foundation for the next 9 years. This is your foundation year for the next 9 years. It's a time to focus and see how things work, and then once you figure out how they work, you want to make them work more efficiently. You want to work towards something that's really important to you. You just don't want to beat yourself up and work. You want to identify what's important to you and what you believe in, because this year is all about stability and lasting impact. So you want to know what you really want, what you want to put your energy into. It's really important. Now, I want you to also realize that this number 4 year it's a journey breakthrough on a sea of obstacles. And a lot of what I'm going to tell you now is sourced from a wonderful numerologist called Christine Delore. I put her contact information, her website, in the description box at the very end of that. So you can I'm not a numerologist, I'm a tarot card reader, I'm a psychic medium, and I read oracles, and oracles and tarot require a thorough knowledge of numerology. But if you want to get a psychic reading from me, um, I'm really good at that. But if you want to get a numerology reading, then contact this woman whose information I put in my website description, or one of the other wonderful people out there on the internet. So, excuse me. The 4-year cycle is one of vision. Remember, we talked about that focus and managing, prioritizing. There's some limitation and restriction because you've got those four corners. So that, in fours in in the tarot require those foundations, but they also identify your limits. And then you think about breaking through those walls. So this is a year of breakthroughs. Your sense of identity, it's all about who you are and what you believe. It's that principal theme throughout this year. So the events of this very practical year will leave you without a doubt. The time has come to set new priorities and strive toward that long-term goal that you decide you specifically want, okay? Four. Four is the number of organization and work, how things work, making things work, like figuring out, like once you see how things work, you're like, well, how can I make them work better? This is the year to do it because, again, I tell you, it sets the tone for the next 9 years. If you handle these things about working towards something that means a lot to you in this year, this theme will carry through the next 9 years, but it will already be in the works and it will flow better in the other years to come. And then when you come back to your number 4 year, 9 years from now, you build on that other layer where you expand yourself because everything spirals back in and around again and unfolds. It's beautiful. So as this year unfolds as well, you want to develop a very, very, very clear vision of what you want, and you want to make a firm commitment to obtain it. So you want to think about the reason of the 4 year often feels confusing and difficult because its nature seems to place obstacles in your path. And anytime your attention is diverted from, reality. So it does those obstacles to keep you in line, to keep you focused on what is real and what you can build with. So setting realistic goals not only helps you to stay focused, but often results in satisfying achievement. So you got to look at those goals. You got to say, you may want this, and that. But remember, in the number 4 year, you have this strategy. You see what works, you see how to make it work better to achieve your goals. So that's all about being very realistic because you can't accomplish anything unless you have a plan. Okay? So whatever you want to accomplish, and your priorities may change several times this year. You can be assured it involves mental, emotional, and physical hard work. I mean, this is your work year. So, for 4 years, they react to your strength of will, like your determination, which is, you know, which is comprised of all your feelings, both pleasant and unpleasant, okay? And because if you deny your feelings, that weakens and imprisons your will by nature, because your nature needs to be free, because we are creators. You don't want to imprison your will. We have free will. So you have to take an assessment of what's important to you. And, because the natural response of human will is that of complete acceptance of reality, along with whatever feelings, reality triggers. The reality sets in and triggers feelings like, oh no, so you have to work within those boundaries and break through them, right? So the will thrives on truth, even if the truth hurts, because remember, this is a year of reality. This is a year of taking stock of the situation. All right, so this is in a way you're working hard and building, and in another way it's kind of a timeout, just like in the tarot, the Four of Cups, the Four of Swords. They're kind of like going within and really going either within your heart in the Four of Cups situation, or in the Four of Swords within your mind, and taking a rest from it all and having a clear vision, seeing what you can really work with, what's realistic. So that's what's going on with this year. So you may want to keep your feelings to yourself if circumstances, call for a show of steadiness and resolve. But the long-term success of the 4 year is going to come through your ability to fully feel your feelings, pay attention to what's in your heart, and gain the intelligence they contain. Because a lot of people are saying we have two brains, one in the head and one in the heart. And the one in the heart is really what leads us to what we're meant to do in life, to manifest and do and live your reason for your soul contract and coming here. So if you're trying to make something happen, a strong will is needed, right? Because you're trying to make something happen. However, it is in this number 4 year that we realize our will is not free at all, because we have repressed it with a limited vision of our potential. We're creators, right? 4 can make you feel restricted and boxed in, right? Because of the 4 walls, right? By circumstances that are beyond your control. And knowing how you feel is the only way to know what to do next. You have to stay focused on your feeling inside to lead you, because a lot of times you're going to hit these blockages, okay? And the only way to break through those blockages is through how you feel in your heart, because the universe created you for a reason. It didn't give you desires, talents, gifts without the ability to manifest and do something wonderful with them. So you have a GPS system right here. It's really important to pay attention no matter what, to navigate through there. So it's from your feelings that creativity is born, and your experiences, thankfully along the down to earth 4 year road will make, emotional denial almost impossible, because you will keep coming back to center here in this number 4 year. The part of your will that's free is now trying to rescue the imprisoned parts of yourself. All right? Don't worry if you don't understand this immediately. You will in time. As the year unfolds, you face the reality of the world and your own personal life. And, new, deeper understandings will come, right? The serious and practical 4 energy, it needs a specific goal to work with towards a purpose, right? So it can, maintain that, so it can manifest that. So it needs something very specific. It responds best to, something routine, disciplined effort, efficiency, order, and organization. these are all keywords for the number 4 year. There really are limitations on how far you can go this year. So when you find yourself dealing with the inevitable frustrations that come with such restriction, with all these boundaries, remember, take a deep breath and just, remember that the very essence of the human will is acceptance. Think about, hear the parable of the two frogs who fell into a pail of milk? One of them could not accept its sudden reality and drowned. The other realized and accepted what had happened and could not accept such a fate. It went into survival mode and thrashed around and did whatever it could to stay afloat. Eventually, all that effort paid off. The thrashing around turned the milk into butter. It hardened into butter, and the frog was able to climb out. So that's kind of what goes on in this year of churning and building. So last year, you learned all about the power of optimism. It was a number 3 year. It was the pessimism that defeated the first frog and caused it to drown. All right. So the 3 year urged you to see beyond your first impressions and face the reality of the situation. The first impression that the first frog has was nothing could be done to change things. So why even try? 3 is the number of the joy of living. That was your party creativity year. And it seems that the second frog enjoyed life enough to want to preserve it, to persevere, right? To preserve himself, right? He just persevered in order to preserve his life. So this year, you will be developing a greater sense of your own purpose, and you will be setting a definite course or direction for yourself. You cannot drift aimlessly along and just hope for the best. You need a specific and meaningful goal to focus on and be responsible for. Consider every aspect of your life and confront yourself with the vision of where each aspect is leading, okay? Later in the year, when you find yourself churning around in a situation that appears to be out of your depth, just like the frog, be out of your depth, be practical, face the facts, and look for solutions that will change your circumstances, or at least help you get through them. Once you accept the serious nature of this year, you'll be able to relax into it. From a more accepting frame of mind, you will have a better chance of shaping your reality as you would prefer. Then have it shaped for you. See, that's why you need to take an assessment, because you want to shape your reality in this year. You don't want to create by default. You want to be a co-creator in your life, to create along with spirit. So now you must organize your life according to what is important to you and lay firm foundations based on those priorities. So, by the way, before I continue, if you're enjoying my series, if you're enjoying my videos, hit the like button. It really helps my videos to continue because it gets them out of there. It helps the channel. I need your support to keep the channel going. And there are free ways to support the channel: sharing videos, hitting the like button, subscribing, ringing your notification bell. And if you want to become a channel member, which it's a few dollars a month, you get lots of great perks for that one. Okay. So anyway, back to your forecast for number 4 year. So things that you believed were important may be the very same things that are now restricting you. Isn't life funny? Blaming others is just another form of restriction because it implies that you are a victim when in reality, you're causing your own restrictions by refusing to prioritize. Okay? Think about that one. Think where you create your own restrictions by not acknowledging what is most important in order of priority. Okay? That'll make your life a lot better. So, what's good, that is what good organization is all about. Being able to deal with various issues in the right way at the right time with the right people in the correct order of importance and the direction you all want it to go. So, the circumstances of this year can make you feel like you're not getting anywhere, yet the true purpose is to point out where you're actually stuck on this life's journey. And it wants to help you see how to break free of your patterns. You want to get out of these limiting patterns that are physical, emotional, creative, intellectually restrictive. All right. So these issues may be preventing you from evolving into the person you know you can be. Remember, you want to stay on your soul contract. This year will help you face the reality of you, and especially whatever you're afraid of as far as navigating change in life. So weed out those useless and trivial aspects of your life, especially beliefs and attitudes that simply don't matter. Remember, your thoughts create things. Thoughts, belief systems create your reality. So you have to really weed things out that don't matter or make sense in the grand scheme of things. These trivialities, these small petty things are distracting you from the larger picture that you can create in your life. So focus on, again, go to your heart. Think about what really matters to you, and then face the pot the possibility that like half those things don't even matter anyway. What does matter is your freedom to exist as you want to exist, and the level of contentment, loving contentment in your heart. So take an honest look at those aspects which you believe are holding you back. Many of them you created. Perhaps you're too set in your ways. Perhaps you're too frivolous. Perhaps you're uncaring. Perhaps you're too stubborn to learn from your past mistakes. Ask yourself, are you unrealistic about your talents and potential? Are you suffering from poor health due to a bad diet or, God forbid, substance abuse or, lack of sleep or, not sleeping, not having enough exercise or what, or none or no exercise? Are you realistic about your finances and what it takes to survive in this world? Do you daydream and distract yourself from what reality is, what it takes to be practical in this life? Do you think that your actions, your own feelings and beliefs, um or do you attribute it to others? Like, take responsibility for your actions and feelings. Are you freeing your will or giving it away? Think about that one. And giving away your will, giving away your energy, being a slave to other people's thoughts and opinions rather than what really matters to you. That's a big one. Unpack that one, because too many people really give their free will away. They can spend their whole life doing that and not being true to themselves. It's really important to think about that one. really be honest with yourself. Identify what is not working in your life and eliminate it, get rid of it. And then you'll be free to go in the direction that you really need to go in to build um, the, the new you, like who you really are, and that new life, that new situation that you want so deep in your heart. 4 is a builder number, and you want to be like the construction worker in your own life. You want to have control of building your life. Hard work is, of course, inevitable, and careful planning is essential. Visualizing what you want, make a vision board. Or just rest, just close your eyes, rest, and visualize what you want in great detail, like feeling it, imagining it. Imagine every aspect of this life you want before you go to bed at night. Maybe think of one aspect that you want in your life this year when you wake up, and spend 5 minutes setting an intention for the day. Because this is the year that you can work on laying the foundation for reaching and sustaining your goal. This is your year. This is your year. You want to visualize, you want to take action, you want to be consistent. And it's not just that you're building it for this year. This is the year where you focus on that. But once you do that this year, it's going to flow in those other years and unfold in the next 9 years through the 9-year cycle of numerology. So review, get organized with your money and your home, whatever assets you have, because within a few months, those matters will come to your attention. Be conservative with your resources and be aware of, what you actually have. Like, don't just ignore your resources and what's in your bank account. Be aware of how much money you have, where it's coming in, where it's going out. This is a year to take stock of that. And your skills, abilities, knowledge, your networking of family, friends, all the resources, these are all assets this year, okay? And use them as needed. And take nothing and no one for granted this year. Be practical, be efficient, because this year has limited resources, right? And you have to make work, create with the limited resources you have this year. So you got to have a good understanding how money and energy work, right? And be aware of what's happening in the greater world, like in the world of politics and economics. It's very deceptive. So anytime you feel yourself hitting a wall, right? Hitting a wall, feeling the struggle of everything, stop what you're doing and face the facts, face the truth of how things really are. Because you can feel like this year is an obstacle course, and it will keep bringing you to your personal limits. So you have to learn to be free within and expand your will. So this energy can push your limits away from you. You'll have to work within those limits, but you have the creator within you, and you have free will. So you go within and you can manifest and push the limits away. So although you still have limits, we all do, they will not be boxing you in or pressuring you. It's not a prison. It's a playpen. It's a playpen to work things out, but it's not a prison unless you make it that. So this, I talked about this earlier about how much your sense of identity matters this year. Like you got to ask yourself, who am I? What is my purpose? What is my soul contract, right? You can do the most benevolent prayer where you say, I've talked about the MBO, most benevolent outcome prayer. You can do one that's, I request a most benevolent outcome to stay on my soul contract this year. Thank you. That's a very powerful short prayer that I highly recommend for anyone in the number 4 year. Let's say that again together. I request a most benevolent outcome to stay on my soul contract this year. Thank you. And if you want to understand how this most benevolent prayer works, I have a video on it in my playlist, and it will, in my whole video world, but on the playlist that has to do with intuition and divine design. So you'll find that video in that playlist. And it's a really good playlist. It's a really good playlist to help you develop yourself. So anyway, you're going to, throughout this year, you're going to just keep saying, who am I? What is my purpose? How do I stay on my soul contract, right? And your sense of identity doesn't come from what you do in life, but more from, again, how do you feel? How do you feel about life and your place in it? You got to take that assessment. Go within your heart. Your professional life or just making ends meet, that may predominate, but there's more to you than what you do for a living. And the question is, what do you do for life? Like, what's giving you your will to be here? That's so important. So in these, we're in like changing crazy times, and nothing's out, anything's possible because, oh my God, life has changed so much, right? So keep your imagination wide open, no matter how practical you feel you have to be. The more fuel you give your imagination, the more likely it is that you're going to find a way to move or flow toward what's right for you. So, although there may be a spurt of highly acceleration action this year, progress is not very rapid in the 4 energy. This is, again, it takes a long time to dig up that foundation, to set it in, to get that established. That takes, you have to get that just right when you're building a house. It's, later when you got that and you can put everything up and put the roof on, then you can go within and have fun and really feel and manifest that interior and enjoy it. But during the foundation year, you're not going to see the progress that you want. So, you're gonna run into hurdles and delays, just like if you lay any foundation in anything. And, you may feel, bout of pessimism and frustration. That's normal. But you keep your balance. Remember temperance, the temperance card in the tarot, where you have the angel to help you find your balance and keep your vision and watch over you. So you may ask yourself, why? Why is this number 4 personal year so frustrating? It's to show you that many of your restrictions, let's keyword, your restrictions are unnecessary. In other words, you did them to yourself. You put obstacles in your own path, and you're going to clear some of that clutter. So no matter what situations arise, you can deal with them, right? You could even find a way, like find a silver lining. You can find a way to use them to your advantage. So if you're able to adjust to these new layers of reality as you go, you'll be able to break through all the limitations. This may not be an easy year, but with the combined strength of your masculine and feminine parts, you got the masculine intellect that thinks things through very logically, the feminine will and openness to the flow, that creative mind that taps in and tunes in. It can be the most fulfilling cycle that you will ever experience. And I want you to also remember that it's possible for some of you that your number 4 year is derived from the master number 22. So go back to the calculator, and some of you may have come up after adding everything to the number 22. Some of you may have, come up with the number 31 to get to the number 4. But if you came up, or, a 13, like a 1 and a 3 equals 4, or a 3 and a 1 equals a 4, or a 4 and a 0 equals 4. But if you came up with 22, right? If you came up with master number, let's see if I have it here, 22. All right? If you came up with that before you reduced your number to a single digit, then there is additional information here for you. It's very powerful. If you have the help, the angelic help of the master number 22, you will find that this year is going to be very balanced for you, because 22, it's 2 plus 2, it's equal on each side. It's not like a seesaw of a 1 or a 3. You have a 2 and a 2. So it's very balanced. So in a 22 4 year, the 4 is always present, of course. It's a number 4 year because we reduced to a single digit. But the 22 still moves through your life less frequently, but with highly intense waves of empathy and opportunity. This is the angelic realm. So both the 2 and the 4 emphasize the importance of patience, attention to detail, and right timing. So the 22 master number can inspire, with its power of compassion and constructive good, or it can create havoc and destruction through inflated ego, because there's a certain amount of power in the 22, and it's cause an abuse of power. So despite the harm that occurs when 22 is misused, it always backfires in the end. So if somebody does misuse it, karma will hit, because two generally is the number of balance. It's the scales of justice. It's the peaceful number, and it's peaceful energy. It doesn't tolerate force. It pushes back against if it's too hard, eventually, push you back if you. All right. So 22 represents the achiever, the master builder, the diplomat, the masterful organizer. It will give you awareness. You can tap into your intuition on this year, and you will really have the ability to lead and direct others. So this year, you can combine all these attributes to, if you're in a 22 year, you can bring about very large scale accomplishment. This will take genuine belief in yourself and what you're doing. Remember, you have assessed what's important to you, and you have to believe in yourself. And you got to work hard, and you got to work like you got to have a practical way to get everything accomplished this year. So when all of that lines up and it's geared toward improving conditions for others, because if you're a 22 personal year, you have empathy. So the chances of success are even greater because you're working for the greater good. You will be rewarded. So 2 is a partnership number, right? We have 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 are partnership numbers, and they're all about connection, teamwork, cooperation, and peace, and beautiful feminine energy and sensitivity. And did I mention diplomacy? It helps you to find ways to bring about peaceful solutions when there are very disruptive situations. You will know how to handle that. While the 22, it can make you very oversensitive. In a 4 year, you can feel sensitive. And if you're in a 22-4 year, you'll feel oversensitive. You can, because this is related to the sign Cancer in astrology. So you can also learn to use this increased sensitivity to kind of, feel what's going on around you, kind of feel like get into your psychic senses. And you'll know what's hidden, that others can't see. But do remember, there is a fine line between persuasion and manipulation. Okay? In this 22 year, it makes you more aware of the games that people play. But for you, you got to act appropriately. And this 22-4 year, it puts many opportunities at your disposal for the purpose of combining the ideal with the practical to create, remember this important word this year, a breakthrough, an authentic breakthrough, because it's coming from your individuality. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope if you are a number 4 personal year, you may have to listen to this a few times. I would play it while you're maybe doing some work around the house. Just listen to my voice. If you have time, you can make some notations of certain things that really resonate with you. Put them in a little notebook to carry around with you, or you could put them in your notes on your phone, certain key phrases and things that you want to accomplish this year. And again, please support the channel any way you can. The free ways, click on the commercials. That helps me. Share, like, subscribe. And if you want to become a member, I'd love to have you be part of our community. Thank you, and have a very, very blessed year. May you accomplish everything you want. Take care, and I bid you peace and balance this year.